Hey guys, it's Cody and welcome back to a new Draw for Fun video. Yes, I know, finally a new Draw for Fun. Uh, yeah, I know, sorry about that guys. Ever since like, what is it, my previous was the, what is it, a recommended video of like me drawing Meta Knight, but, well, anyway, but I have finally thought of a new Draw for Fun, which this one, if you guys know what it is, it's a Ponspector from the Xenoblade Chronicles, one of the not Pons character that appears in what is the Future Connected after the Xenoblade Chronicles main stories, like the definitive edition. So, I think what I'm gonna do first is gonna do some time lapse of doing the ink part. Okay, so I'll see you guys after the time lapse. All right, see ya. Okay, so finally I have finished inking, except I think I messed up on this part because when I was, what is it, inking this part first, it was making some sort of a weird scratching noise. I don't know why my nibs do that. They're probably old or something, but anyway. Well, anyway, so now that I have finally inked this whole picture, I'm going to do the coloring now. Okay, so let's talk about the Nopons and Xenoblade Chronicles. Nopons, they are interesting. Yeah. I don't know. I find like these characters to be like oh man, like I don't know, kind of like mysterious sort of like mascot characters. I mean, technically they're kind of like this game's like what is it? Almost like the Moogle from Final Fantasy or what is it? The felines in the Monster Hunter if you think about it. Because you know there's like the Moogle, not Moogles, the Nopons that lives in like um Colony 9 and Colony 6 from like what is it, the Frontier Village, which kind of speaking of which though, not wait, actually are I don't know how to explain it, but like it's like Nopons from other Xenoblade Chronicles game, they appear in other like, Xenoblade Chronicles series, like, Xenoblade Chronicles X and Xenoblade Chronicles 2. And it's like, they're completely, all three of them are completely different from each other, you know? Like, I don't know, I'm kind of like a little confused about that. In which, like, I mean, wait, in Xenoblade Chronicles 2, are the human characters called Homs by any chance? Because I know there is something known as Blades, which, I'm sorry, you guys, I don't know much about Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I have never played Xenoblade Chronicles 2. It's just, I guess not my sort of like taste. I don't know how to explain it. I mean, I really do like Tora's character though, but not sure why. Though I'm sorry if I'm like changing the subject or some or anything, but it's like for Xenoblade Chronicles X, is Xenoblade Chronicles X canon to the two games? I mean, I know what is it? Um what is it? The first game, the second game is canon, but like what is it? X? I don't, is it really canon? I heard something like it's canon, but it's half. I don't know. Hmm. Although I don't know if I'm a huge fan of the Nopon that appears in the the Xenoblade X, just to make it a little more shortened, just saying. It's like the Nappan called Tatsu. He was, I don't know, kind of a really weird designed character, though, if you think about it. I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, Xenoblade Chronicles X is more like an MMORPG, if I were to remember, though. Is it? Wait, it is a our MMORPG, right? I don't know how to explain that part because I know it doesn't have a specific protagonist and you just like make your own protagonist. But overall, to be honest, I think like the Noppons are pretty much more the adorable mascots they actually ever made. I don't know, it's like kind of better than some of like those other like weird mascots I have seen in some other like games and anime. Speaking of which, I think that one of my reason why the reason I'm not really into Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is maybe because it's kind of a little on the anime-ish, like not like what is it, the first game though. But anyway, I really don't want to talk about that though. But anyway, um wait, what was I talking about again? Right. Yeah. Like the Noppons are like, what is it? I think I find them to be better than those like other like annoying, what is it, mascot characters. Like they are really cute, I gotta say. The Noppons are actually more adorable, especially like when you're like talking to them and they say like one of those like weird, like those like computer voice, like when you talk to someone, they're like, hey, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, the Noppons were really adorable when they talk. Though, if you think about it, wouldn't, like, since I'm drawing, like, the Ponspectors, the Ponspectors roles in, what is it, Xenoblade Chronicles Future Connected, don't you guys kind of, like, think they're almost like they're almost technically, like, the Pikmins in what is it, Pikmin series? I mean, they're technically in a group, and suddenly, they're willing to help out with, like, your adventure. I don't know. And technically wait, crap. Like, what do they, okay, I just started to beat what is it, Xenoblade Chronicles, a definitive edition, and I'm now playing what is it, Future Connected, which I haven't went that far yet. I'm still new to it. Kind of like, okay, I don't want to spoil for anybody, but all I can just say is it's kind of a little confusing. That's all I can just say. It's a little kind of confusing. I'll get used to it. Yeah, but technically, like the Ponspectors are technically this game's Pikmins. Yeah. And speaking of which, about Xenoblade Chronicles, I find it funny how, well, actually, not really. I find it funny, but it's more like my my best friend, and my roommate. Well, they're both the same. Like, was surprised when he noticed that I was into this game because the Xeno series are technically, like, he told me that it's a mecha series. And the way he mentioned something like, he was like, I'm surprised how you're into this series when you don't even watch mecha series. Well, I mean, I don't hate mechas. It's just, I guess not my childhood. Like, I never watched any of, like, mecha series anime when I was little. I mean, well, technically, I did watch this one Mobile Suit Gundam movie, but I don't know. It's just I did read the manga called a mecha manga called Eureka 7. I don't know. Well, yeah, that is a mecha series, so yeah, it has to count. But I mean, like, well, I know for games such as, like, what is it? Xenosaga and Xenogears. Does it have anything to do with mecha? I don't know. I never really heard much about Xenogears though, to be honest. But yeah, well, like, what, and then like Xenoblade Chronicles X is a, what is it? A mecha as well. Man, it's like, I don't know. I'm actually surprised how I was into Xenoblade Chronicles. Like, to be honest, well, I think what happened why I was into Xenoblade Chronicles is because I actually thought the first time I ever heard of Xenoblade Chronicles was when there was this one YouTuber, a YouTube gamer who was about to start to do that to play like what is it Xenoblade Chronicles as a project, and at first I didn't know about it, and I kind of thought it was going to be like those games that I wouldn't be really into, but I was kind of bored that like I decided to check it out, and after like looking at it, I got interested. I don't know why. Like, well, I think what happened was because of the setting and the story. Like, I like how well, okay, I know it's kind of almost I'm almost like what is it? Changing the subject, but it's like what is it? The technically, if you think about it, the Bionis and a Mechonis is technically sort of a mecha. If you think about it, it's just a Bionis is not like like a robot. He's just like a kind of like a stone giant, like because it's more like the how do you say this? More like the living organism, like wait, I forgot how it goes. Anyway. While like the Mechonis is more the mecha-ish. Yeah. It's like because it took me a little long to like actually found this out, but it's like the way how the setting it, you're technically living on top of the giants. Yeah. I thought that was the most interesting sort of setting idea they actually did. Okay, I'm sorry to say this, but I think I messed up on the eyes so badly. So let me just real quick just I think this will be fine. I think. Let me just see. Anyway, but yeah, like living on top of a giant that really took me a while just to actually realize that part. I don't know that I gotta say, really creative, especially that like concept art. Well, the figure concept of supposedly the Bionis and the Mechonis. That is actually really cool what they did, and not only like what is it, the whole setting wise, but the way how they balanced out the story, like like the way how who's like well. I really don't want to spoil those who haven't played Xenoblade Chronicles yet, but it's just the way how the story, what like you'll kind of like when you first play it, you'll be like kind of like thinking like, uh-oh, it's gonna be like one of those until like when you go more through it, then suddenly you're like, hey, this is actually kind of different. Yeah, I don't know. Like, that's one of the reason why I was into Xenoblade Chronicles. And be honest, I really enjoyed like the Monado and Xenoblade Chronicles so badly. It's the Monado is the most coolest sword. I like how it's not called sword to be honest, but it is actually the most cool looking sword they actually ever like um designed in that game. Like it's technically like the what is it, the lightsaber, but in a different way, if you know what I mean. Yeah. And by the way, speaking of the Monado, there's something I've been wanting to talk about. Anybody kind of notice how, when it comes to Shulk's Monado, like every time we see like Shulk with the Monado, we always see him with the first one, not with the Monado 2. Like, how the loading screen and then like, like cosplay related things and the title screen, it's always with the first Monado. Anybody ever kind of noticed that at some point? Like, I don't know, like, and you notice how in the Future Connected, how Shulk's new Monado kind of, well, the new Monado replica that he has is technically almost like the first Monado design. You know what I mean? I don't know. Well, to be honest, I wouldn't blame him if he personally preferred the first Monado design because I don't know, I really like the first Monado design more, to be honest. I don't, it's like the first, like the Monado 2, there is something I'm gonna be real about that, design wise. Like, I don't hate like the Monado 2 design, it's just there is some parts that look so, like, awkward. Like, and like, I think my only complaint was like, there is like a under the circle part, there's the circle where the kanji is stored, and for the Monado to fight. There is a part where in the bottom part there's like a piece of like the metal that's along with a blade, and it sticks out of it. And you know how like Shulk always puts a Monado in the back. Like, so imagine this. Imagine like you put your Monado 2 on your back, and suddenly you look up, suddenly you bump your head on that part of the extra blade that's in the back. Imagine that. You know how awkward that would be? Yeah, imagine that. Like I said, I don't hate the Monado 2 design. It's cool looking. It's just I do personally prefer the first Monado, which it's like it's almost like seriously like the first Monado is like technically Shulk's favorite, which like like the replica, the Monado replica and Future Connected. It's like he made one that looks just like the first Monados. Yeah, if you know what I mean. Now I'm sorry if I can like change the subject a bit, but there's something I forgot to mention that about that like YouTuber who like I mentioned who played the Xenoblade Chronicles game and how I got into it. It's like I mentioned, the way how he introduced Xenoblade Chronicles was the reason why I got interested in it. Like how he talked about all kind of like the histories of it and whatnot. So yeah, I mean, if that, I mean, I don't want to mention a name because, well, it's just for in case if like, copyright issues. So, yeah, but if that YouTuber is actually watching this, there's a message I want to mention. All I want to say is thank you for, introducing me to that game. Yeah. If I didn't know much about Xenoblade Chronicles, I probably could have been like, stuck with what is it, Pokemon and like Mario, which it's not like I don't hate Pokemon and Mario, but it's just something new to play. Despite that, like what is it? I don't have a Wii, but technically I could have gone for the what is it? The new 3DS since I got the new 2DS XL, but I don't know. Ever since I like I have a Switch, I kind of haven't played with my 2DS for quite a while these days. Yeah, until like suddenly they decided to like what is it release the whole like Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. That's when I got really excited. I'm just like, you know what? Good thing I didn't even like spend my money on the 3DS version. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's like, well, yeah, I'm just glad how I actually got the, what is it, the definitive edition, By the way, going back with talking about the Napons, now there was something that really bothered me too. In the Japanese version of Xenoblade Chronicles, well, yeah, all three of Xenoblade Chronicles, Napons have a pretty weird talking act, unlike in the English version, though. Reason? Well, if I were to remember, every time Japanese only, the Japanese only, where every time the Napons talk, after they're done with their speech, they always say Mo in the end. Yeah. That is. Well, the first time I've heard of Xenoblade Chronicles, of course, I mentioned is, from the English translation. So, I didn't know anything about that part. Yeah. I don't know. It's like I mean, that's like an old-fashioned, like, children anime, like things you see in a children anime, how like a mascot character or some kind of like a character from some kind of a race would say that. I don't know. It is pretty weird. I understand that. So question. Oh, wrong part of the marker. So anyway, question. If you were born in the world of Xenoblade Chronicles, any Xenoblade Chronicles, either the first game, X, or the second game, what would you do if you were reborn in that Xenoblade Chronicles area, like that sort of like world? Except, however, instead of like what is it, being reborn as like kind of like almost like another human like character or any other like race, well, but the only race you get reborn is a Nopon. Would you enjoy that or would you not enjoy that? Like, imagine that. Like, I got a question. Like, that's a question for that day for you guys that I want to know. I know it's kind of a really weird question, but imagine you guys got reborn as a Nopon instead of anything else, like a Homs, Hyentia, Machina. What else was there? Like I said, I don't know much about Xenoblade Chronicles 2, so I don't know much about the people in that game. So, yeah, imagine that. I don't know. I don't know if I would, like, what is it, um, if I would complain if I got turned into a Nopon. I don't know. I mean, Nopons are cute. I gotta say, they are cute, but, hmm, hmm. I think it depends, if you know what I mean. Well, anyway, now I finally have finished drawing Ponspectors of Xenoblade Chronicles Future Connected. I gotta say, like, I always wanted to draw, well, first, before I ever think about drawing the Ponspector, I thought about drawing Kino from the Future Connected, but Kino looked really hard, especially like the coloration, especially when I messed up on this guy's eyes. But oh well. But anyway, yeah, pretty much finished what I was trying to draw for today. Which I know, I should be doing more draw for fun since, this channel is mainly an art channel. But there are some other things I do want to like talk about for this channel. So yeah, I will do some more draw for fun for any other like feature wise. So I hope I can do more draw for fun videos. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching and please leave a like and subscribe for more videos. See ya.